This morning is a Nordic Corner conference, and I have the pleasure to introduce to all of you Steen Covero. He came from Denmark and is Vice President of the European Ramblers Association. He has been working on a very interesting topic in the last years, which is the idea of green trails criteria. He's going to explain us a bit more about that. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Is it working? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I can just proceed. Okay. First, I will just talk about where I come from. I come from Denmark, but I'm working for this European Ramblers Association, which is right now changing name to European Hiking Federation, because nobody knows outside UK what a rambler is. Everybody knows what a hiker is. So we are changing our name. We are 55 years old. We were founded in Germany, and we were especially working with these EPAs, these 75,000 kilometers of trails all over Europe. Camino in Spain, go home. This is only here. We are all over Europe. It started in Western Europe, and after the Iron Curtain fell down, then it, as you can see in the picture, it expanded to the rest of Europe. So we are more or less all over Europe. Today we are having 64 member organizations from 33 European countries inside and outside EU. But first, are there anyone in this room who don't know this guy? Because yesterday we were talking about that some of us, that we were personally handpicked by Pablo, all the speakers here. And I think that is true. The reason why I'm standing here today is sitting there. That is Omar from Lebanon. And I told him this morning, and he's, how can I be the reason? Because he is the member of the board of World Trails Network. And in summer 23, we two were speakers at the same webinar, and you were talking about Iceland, the famous Laugavegur Trail in Iceland. And you came with a lot of conclusions, and when it was my turn to talk about the European Hikers Federation, then I could say to you, check, 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 because I've just been there 2 weeks ago. And the reason for that is my wife is from Iceland, so we had just been hiking around from a private hut, and we came to Laugavegur and saw all the mess about over-tourism and erosion and all the things and so on. And then when I had said that, Pablo said to me, we have to talk together. And 1 week after, we met on the screen and had a very good talk about all the problems with over-tourism, erosion, and so on, and all the things. And then I created a small working group. That was my wife and I. And then we started writing down what especially you had talked about. And shortly after, I created the idea into our organization and said, we must do something about this. Everybody are talking about sustainability. Nobody are talking about things in practice. So we have to do things, and I'm coming from real life, I'm not coming from universities. So in my point of view, we really have to have things on the ground by people. Before that is existing, nothing is existing. So that is our goal with this. That is to make something that people can use on the ground all over. And that idea was created. We even held a webinar. A lot of people from all over Europe serving the ideas, which I'm telling you today also, and saying, is this a good idea? And everybody says, yes, go ahead. So we did. And we created a working group. Pablo was part of it also, and where we discussed a lot of things. First, it is very close connected to the European Green Deal, which was approved in 2020. And as I said before, outdoor tourism has flourished. It has many places grown as over-tourism. So we saw that clearly during COVID. But we also, in our mission, vision, and so on, wants to support the sustainable outdoor tourism. But we can't do it alone. We have a huge advantage in ERA, and that is that we are having these 65 member organizations. We are having a lot of experts in all countries. Here in Spain, it is FEDME, who is one of our members. So we have access to people on the ground, so we can do a lot of things in real life. We wanted to establish these guidelines and to make it as a certification process. And that was where the discussion started. And we also wanted to make sustainable and I've forgotten the name, but sustainable tourism also to ensure that things are done in a good way for the nature. We had already created some ideas and so on, so we wanted to promote this sustainable trail development, and we also wanted to encourage responsible outdoor tourism, to protect natural environment, but also preserve the cultural heritage. Also, that was also important. The criteria we started, I'll show you later, but that is in fact these 5, which you can read here. And then we started with this certification process where we can, up to some criteria, certify a trail or a national park or whatever it could be to involve self-assessment. And then it can be site inspections, and we could send out representatives from our member organizations to check if you are fulfilling these criteria. That was the main idea when we started all this. I'll come back to where we are now. Also, we wanted to provide hikers with this indication that here is a good trail, that is taking good care of nature and so on. And also we wanted to create good experiences, not only the experiences that people are feeling coming by good cultural and natural points, but also using the nature in a proper way. One of the things is environmental preservation. That is, for example, water erosion to protect the trails around that. But also, we had a discussion in France where there was a meeting about over-tourism and coastal trails, and they had severe problems in France. I believe you have it the same here in Spain too, with this water, over-tourism and so on. So there were a lot of discussions about environmental preservation, but also this safeguard of all the historical things, that they were not eroded due to all the people and weather too. So we want to make a kind of management that is sustainable about all these trails. Maybe to look into, for example, like they do in Venice now, tourists can are stopped when they reach a certain number. So certain trails, for example, the trail we talked about, should maybe use some kind of control of the hikers that are there, so not too many are coming in at the same time, and so on. There are many things to talk about here. 2 weeks ago, we had a trail conference in Paris, and there were a lot of presentations about how to prevent fire, how to do when the fire has been there, how to repair the trails after water has washed away the whole trail, and so on. So there's a lot of things that we have to talk about and to find good ideas how to solve. And then the number 5 here, responsible tourism. Also, we need that our hikers, they are educated. They know what they are doing. And we could see that especially after COVID that Torsten just told about before, that a lot of newcomers in the nature do not know how to behave. So that's also a task we have. One thing more is this, that came especially from Iceland, this community and economic stability. We can see in Iceland, for example, that all the money is going out of the country. A lot of the things, hotels and so on, it's owned by people from outside. So they are getting all the good things, take the money and leave Iceland. So therefore we built also this in that we need to have something coming back to the community, that they are involved in all this, that they get some money back to repair the things and so on. So that's also some of the criteria we have put into this. 5 areas at 4 levels and certification of a green trail. That is what we are talking about when we are talking about green trails. And these are the 5 main areas. I have already talked about this, so I'll just show it to you here, what the 5 areas are. And in these 5 areas, there are 15 sub-criteria right now, where we can measure things and so on. Is it qualified to be certified? We started with 4 levels, and that was to make it easy to come into the system. And then when you began to work with it, then you can go up in a kind of level where you could end as an excellence model for others. During our discussions the last year, we have also talked about that some trails do not want to become certified. And therefore we have created now what I call a level 0, a pre-start, where people can just use the criteria as guidelines, and they can use it like they want to, and then stay there if they want to. It's up to themselves to decide if they want to go into this system. This is an example of the environmental sustainability. Can you read it? But the first one, that is about erosion. The second one is about local regulations, and the third one is about waste handling management. And in the beginning, then you can have some, if I'm taking the erosion, if you can have some regular maintenance of the trail and to build up things and so on. And we are having a lot of good practice examples from Paris, which we can give to you if anybody are interested and so on. Basic waste management practices we saw during COVID all over Europe, that our garbage cans were filled up and some woods were filled up with garbage also. So we really need to have some management practices here. And then when you get more used to use it, then and getting better, then you can use more and more complex things to ensure that you are living up to this sustainability thing. Now, during this 1-year discussion, we started, as I said before, with a criteria, a very hard criteria thing, but we have ended up in saying, yes, we want to test these criteria. They are there, and they are completely open on our website. You're welcome to steal it. I know others have already stolen them, but the whole idea is use it, and the more we can save the nature and so on, the better. So steal them if you want to. But we will test these criteria as they are now at 3 places. One of them is here in Valencia. Another place is in Portugal, and the third country is in Slovenia. And we will do that until next summer, where we'll test this. And the testing is, are these criteria okay? Are they the right ones or the wrong ones? Are there too many? Do we need more? Or so on. So as you can hear, we are in a development phase. We have absolutely not completed this yet. During our discussions in this working group, there were a lot of people who talked about, yes, we need some criteria, fine, but we also need a lot of guidance and instructions for people. So we also need to build up a kind of toolbox where people could grab from and say, okay, what do we have about this? So that is what we will be doing after this testing. And the third one here, that is LQT. LQT means Leading Quality Trails and Best of Europe. These leading quality trails, there are 23 of them in Europe right now. They are certified by us, not for sustainability, but for experience or quality of experiences when you are out there. So, and there's coming an LQT here in Spain rather soon, GR22, I think it is. And one more, which is both in Spain and Portugal. So these leading quality trails, we have also said we want to make a parallel track because there's nothing sustainable in that one. Hiking on a long trail is sustainable in itself, but we need to put something, and we have called it the green chapter. I call it green stuff because we're not decided completely yet what is it we want to put into this. Is it criteria? There are 23 criteria on these LQTs. And just one of them, if they lose just one of them, the whole trail is gone. It's not certified. But so we do not think we need 23 more criteria, then we kill people. So we would more like to say, okay, when you want to be an LQT and you want to work sustainable, then you have to live up to something. And that's something we are working on right now in what we call the green chapter. As I said before, the whole discussions said it led us to say not only a certified trail for green things, we also need some more broader things. And this is where we are beginning to talk about Erasmus+. Because we are part of some projects. Peter and I, we are part of a Connect project. We are also in a Route project led by the French Hiking Federation. And there we can put this in, and then we can really begin to work with bigger things and also with our money inside. So over the next, I would say, 2-3 years, then you hopefully will see all this begin. This I'm looking up there. Sorry, all this to make a broader framework about all these green things. But everything starts with these 15 criteria, which we now will begin to test and see how can we improve it, how can we make it better, and with help from you. This is me. You can find who I am on the left side, and on the right side you can find the website of the Green Trails, where everything is explained down into small details. So that's where you can find more about this. Also on this webpage, we are also informing about where are we right now in this process, which is just started. Okay, that was it.
Thank you, Steen, for your kind words and for this amazing initiative. Congratulations. So now it's time for questions.
That's not the case.
Wait.
Hi, is it on? Can you hear me? Hi, Steen. It's Lauren Lieberman. You know what I'm going to ask you, right? I'm going to ask you if you have a committee of people with disabilities to give you advice on how universally designed the trails are. Is there any scale for that or any feedback avenue for that?
Yes and no. We are having, in this working group, we are having a lot of good contacts, and of course we will bring this in when we are really beginning to look into details, and especially in these Erasmus projects, that's EU projects, that's where the money are. That is where we will really take this in, because that is one of our other legs we are standing on, that is to have everybody out on the trails. So of course this will be part of it. I promise you.
Awesome. I knew you were going to say that. I just wanted to make sure.
Omar, please.
The reason for it, yeah.
Thank you. Are you a member of the World Trails Network?
Yes, of course.
And UCV, are you members of? Okay, excellent. I just wanted to make sure, because we need academia and we need organizations like you. Thank you.
Yeah. Omar, this is something that we discuss. To work together, it's really very important. University may not be isolated of society, so this partnership is a good solution. Now, here, another question here.
So it's always from Sweden that ask the question.
Well, no, very interesting. And one thing I'm thinking around here is beyond the trail. I mean, how accessible it is, how you can reach the start and end point by public transportation from an environmental perspective, etc. To what extent do you consider this?
We take it as granted that these things are already built into the system. So that will not be a part of the green stuff, I would say, because a trail must be accessible, else nobody are using it. So we have not taken these things into account yet. But for example, we are having Europark. The national parks are part of our working group also, and they have talked about this. They have also asked about, it's not only the trail itself, it's also about the surroundings that must be sustainable and so on. So as I said before, we are in the middle, or not even in the middle of the process, but we are developing this. So maybe you can ask me in 3 years' time where we are ended up. I can't tell you now because it's depending on this dialogue we are having with a lot of different collaborators, I would call it. So I can't give you a clear answer now.
You said in 3 years? We will ask.
Yeah. I think there was a question over here. Yeah.
I have 2 questions. First one would be, what are your thoughts regarding urban trails, and if you are doing something regarding them?
Yes, urban trails are already part of our discussions in other forums, but as I said, we are an umbrella organization, and in fact also an umbrella of a lot of different kind of trails, and urban trails is exactly one of the things we are discussing right now. We are also discussing wild forest tourism, for example. There we are also part of a project and so on. So because we are part of all this, it will be put together. But if we put more and more and more details into the green trails, as they are already, we will kill people. With too many criteria and so on. So we have to be very careful what we take in and take out of this system. Right now, rural or urban trails are not as a single thing put into this. Second question?
There were 2 questions.
There were 2, okay.
2, but in the same one, was your thoughts on if you are doing something with urban trails. So
Yeah.
was answered.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think so.
And I'm here until Saturday, so you are welcome to attack me outside if you want to do that. Okay,
Thanks again. Thank you.